Hey everybody, how's it going? Getting started here. Go ahead and spin everything up here one sec. Obviously 7 today. Get hype. Sure everything's working to specifications here. Huzzah! Let me fix the title and then we're good to go. Well guys, how's everybody doing today? Got a new headset this week, so let me know if there's any issues with audio. Should be okay, but... Ready? So it's been a while, right? We are in the slums of Midgar, and we're working our way toward Aeris' house, who's just joined our party. She's a flower girl who helped us up when we fell from a boss fight we just did. There we go. We're going to do some extra Final Fantasy 7 time today. We robbed it a little bit with Chrono Trigger last week, so we're going to do 2.5 hours instead of just 2 hours. Ether was stolen. Okay. I wonder why their steel ability is called Grind. How's it going, Sneakers? Railroading? That's okay. Guy in the pipe is pretty important, I think. The hell, man, I just met you. Boo-doo. Oh, no worries, dude. We had a full party leveling people up anyway. Again, appreciate this map. Like, look at all the shit they put on each of these little houses. There's cigarettes, there's all these little intricate vases up in the corner. There's like a chainsaw for some reason, a claw arm. As many of those Titan bangles as we can get. Oh, it's unlikely we're going to use Aeris for much longer. Aeris. Got it, dude. Yeah, so he's got like, really, I mean, think about this. You know, we talk about the sprite artists and how much work it is to make a good sprite, but like, who on the team decided that we really needed to have a picture of a kind of fat karate dude, like, in a fighting pose as a calendar? You gotta appreciate that. I guess we could do the debug room. This Turtle Paradise flyer is pretty important. There's a couple that you can miss permanently. You have to find all of them, though, for an endgame quest. Oh, I can't say I don't want to. I won't take his money. It's 5 gil. It's really just there for flavor. I could use the debug room to hack Aeris into our party. A lot of people seem to think from the debug room that there may have been a way in the game to resurrect Aeris at some point and that they cut it from the plot, which is probably a good decision. It wouldn't really have its effect if you just got her back. Yeah, I mean, like, check out the cool little medical box, and there's some more cool vases in the back, and there's even stuff in this room that clearly somebody worked pretty hard on, but it's off screen. I can't even see it back there. Okay, it's got a cool, like, rupee sign there. Didn't mean to talk to you again. That's okay. It's got a little TV. I was watching some TV. Somebody went to the trouble of animating it. There's a cool little mini fridge in here. There's a box that has a gloved hand giving a peace sign. It's a bonsai tree. And there's a fire hydrant. And by fire hydrant, I mean fire extinguisher. Alright, so I think this room is kind of important. Everybody jokes about it because there's a typo in here. This guy are sick, right? But I think this guy's way more important to the overall plot than a lot of people give the game credit for. Cloud's gonna be a dick and be like, I'm no doctor, but... He has got a tattoo. It's the number 2. Remember, all of the Sephiroth clones have a number tattoo. And 2 would imply that he's the first one. There's this big plot point later in 7 that goes on about Cloud being a Sephiroth clone, and it gives him an existential crisis and all this other stuff. I think that's bullshit. I don't think he's a failed Sephiroth clone. I think that dude in the slums is a failed Sephiroth clone. The game never actually confirms that, but that's even better. Like, that they just leave it up to your speculation. Pretty sure speedrunners go and they get this. The longest part of a speedrun is Midgar. They have to do that whole thing pretty much legitimately. They can skip a few cutscenes here and there, but... Cool. Thanks, Dizzy. I don't know if you're watching, man, but I appreciate it. Dizzy's an old friend of mine. He's a Twitch partner now. Back in the day, like 10 or more years ago, we used to play this Korean MMO together. How you doing, dude? I had Clord with me. No problem. Tifa is a girl. Alright, so we're calculating here. We're going out of our way to piss off as many people as possible except for Barrett, because we want to go on the date with Barrett later in the game. So anytime we have a chance to piss somebody off other than Barrett, we're going to do it. We're going to say, yes, Tifa's our girlfriend. I don't think that gives us points in the Tifa category. Thanks, man. Like, I feel bad. We've been needing to do the multiplayer game thing, but the timing just keeps going bad. Like, I didn't want to do it when you were, like, level 50 and hardcore on Diablo, and I had a softcore character. Like, hey, here's my buddy. Let me, like, power level him in hardcore for an hour, you know? But we'll figure it out. We'll find a game. Hell yeah, Barrett date. Hey, Kamer, Shatter, and Rar. How's it going, guys? FF7 hype indeed. Thanks, good to have you. Yeah, oh man, I don't think I can change Zach's name in Crisis Core. We'll be doing that in the second half here today. But if I could, I'd totally name him Zuck. Thank you for following, Roar. It's good to have you. Alright. Alright. Good night, Aeris. So we gotta sneak out here. We're gonna go in through this door. I'm gonna go to bed. And then if we run, it'll make noise and Aeris will realize that we're on our way out. So here's another one of those cutscenes where Cloud's talking to himself. And I don't know if it's like the actual Cloud that's underneath the other layers of psychosis that he has, or my personal theory so far is that when he hears this voice, he's hearing Zack talking to him. But this would get away from that, right? Because Zack didn't experience this. Cloud did. Yeah, Doc Steele, this game's rad. Have you played Crisis Core? We're doing that in the second half. It's one of the prequels where you play as Zack. An older girlfriend. Now, if you've been paying attention and reading the manual for this game, the instruction manual gives you the ages of Tifa and Aeris. Aeris is technically the older one. She's like a year older than Cloud. So if you're going for the canon ending, I guess Cloud should probably fall for Aeris. Although we should really be Team Barrett, remember? We're trying to go on a date with Barrett later. Okay, so don't run. And don't walk on specific floorboards, apparently. Cool. We're gonna try it again. Try not walking on that floorboard. Right, hugging the wall, maybe. Alright. Oh, where's Elmyra? Oh, I guess she's just out to get groceries or something. Alright, we ditched Aeris. We never have to see her again. Everybody celebrate. What? And we've got some people in chat who have seen Crisis Core from me playing, because I started playing that first and haven't seen 7. If you've been watching Crisis Core recently, this upcoming scene will be very familiar to you. Screw it. This area sucks. I was watching Puexel, he's a speedrunner, and he was saying that this area is bad even for speedrunners. There's so many areas where you can get caught up on the terrain. Here we go. Especially if you're trying to do that specific step manipulation. The speedrunners in this game will selectively walk and run because the seed in the RNG that determines when you get into a battle is based on the step counter. It uses the step counter as a seed. So you'll see them, they'll like stutter step all over the place because they're trying to manipulate the random number generator on the encounters. And it's really hard to do that here because there's very tight corners. Hey, Frank. Right? Exactly, Shadow. Like, there's just someone on the team making Final Fantasy VII is like, you know what this area really needs? It needs a robot hand. We don't have a robot hand. We really need to have one. And it just feel like you get jaded with games these days. You don't go back and notice all the little components of the background and stuff. Hey, 73 Hun, how's it going? And we'll keep pointing that out. This is the opposite of a speedrun. We're gonna take our time. We're gonna go in places and check it out. I think the one she wants is take her to Sector 7, so we'll say see her home. Hey, Eno-chan and Ben DeTram, how's it going? I don't have a guide with me. I'm going to have to rely on memory to try to get the best items so that Cloud can dress up as a pretty girl. Yeah, so they reproduced this scene almost precisely in Crisis Core, but with Zack instead of Cloud. Hey, thanks for the follow, D-Gall. It's been a while since we played Diablo. Right. Gotta let that clock hit 99.99. Man, my wife... See that? So he's like remembering what his deal is, and the screen flashes for a second because he's delusional, and... I'm assuming with statute of limitations on Final Fantasy VII spoilers. I'd look at my wife's save files for games sometimes, and they'd all be like maxed out, like 999 hours. I'm like, damn, you really played a lot of Kingdom Hearts. She's like, no, I just turned it on and left it on and left. I was like, and you saved afterward? That's what saving the game is for. You don't need to leave it on. This isn't the NES. You're not playing a game with a 20-character password. That's correct, Dizzy. I tried to do the Steam version, but it is awful. Like, you need to be online to play it. It's not really compatible with your controller. It's glitchy. So yeah, we're doing the PSX. Yeah. All of their weird names are the result of... We had somebody in chat last week, Hey Pax, who misspelled her name Tifa, so we've gone in that direction for all the characters now. I've got an Elgato HD60. This isn't on the console, though. I'm emulating it. I could capture it. I have the disc, but there's fewer steps, fewer failure points if I'm able to do it on an emulator. I do encourage everybody, Final Fantasy VII is for sale. You can buy it on Steam. Give Squaresoft some money for this game. So those two characters in front of the entrance to this building, the square one means mouth, and the one that looks like two legs walking means person. So it means entrance, right? Mouth for people. Kind of cool. Not complete chicken scratch. Yeah, so check this out. Like, this cool little hotel over here. There's a little toilet with a bunch of toilet papers. This one's actually not as decorated as some of the other rooms. Somebody made a really tiny poster of a guy's face. I know, right? Uematsu. Best soundtrack. This is a really fun song to play on bass, as you can probably imagine. Let me get that Tifa's ultimate weapons in here. You can't get it to the end of the game. And there's a Gatling gun that shoots you for some reason. Dude, I have certain parts of the Final Fantasy, the Black Mages actually. So Nobuo Uematsu's prog metal band that covered Final Fantasy music. some parts of that soundtrack, as well as at that time I was a goth kid, so when we played Nexus, I was really into Tool. So I had to listen to a lot of Tool and Black Mages in Nexus, and those I have that association permanently. We've met Johnny a couple times. Just a little side plot about this guy who left his parents in the slums. Dizzy, have you ever played what is it? Blue Dragon? It's by Hironobu Sakaguchi. He's the creator of Final Fantasy, and it has Nobuo Uematsu as the composer. It's an Xbox 360 game. It's an RPG. Not a lot of people have played it though. Awesome. Well, we're gonna do it on here eventually. This is a great place to appreciate that game rather than trying to track it down and play it yourself. It's got a bitchin' soundtrack. Yeah. Hey Sneakers and Legit Mayhem, how's it going? The boss battle music in Blue Dragon. So like Nobuo Uematsu's whole thing is he's this big fan of old classic rock, a lot of like British classic rock bands. You hear a lot of that in his music. So he got the lead singer of Deep Purple to sing on the boss battle song, and it's this like really bad Englishy lyrics about like living to win and fighting to save the day. Pretty stoked for that. Later on, we're going to call this area is going to have what Barrett is going to refer to as the golden shiny wire of hope. The dressmaker over there. Gotta get that person some digestion help. Pretty sure the entrance to this gym says men, men, men outside. Puexel, the Final Fantasy VII speedrunner, does a pretty funny donation incentive during Games Done Quick, where he'll have everybody in the audience will get up and squat for a number of minutes based on how many people donated. We'll go ahead and get one of those, why not? He's already got Assault Bangle. We just bought Titan Bangles, but alright. Fine. Punish me for being prepared, game. Alright. Later we're gonna have to come back here to buy a battery. I understand that it's something that's small enough that a lot of people forget to do it, especially speedrunners. In this store, you pay first. I had better dog food. Thanks, man. This is the pharmacy over here. This mini game is, we're trying to get a dress for Cloud, so you can be a pretty girl. We went with the digestive because there's a guy in a bathroom who's having trouble. We're gonna rescue him with a digestive. Yeah, he's in here. Sure can. It's quick. Right, we got the sexy cologne. I don't think I've ever played this without getting Cloud the best possible dress. Look, this little bar, look how detailed it is. Like, they've got this kitchen separate, there's this little, like, karaoke area over here. They're watching a field on TV. Pretty cool. I think we have to go up here, and it will eventually trigger Aeris getting an idea, but I don't know if we've had to talk to other people first. Hey, Sanguine, how's it going, man? Right? Dizzy's hosting me very graciously. Thank you, sir. Ah, good to hear it, dude. There's somebody we gotta talk to here that's gonna trigger our ability to progress the plot. I know, right? This song is great. It's called Oppressed People. It is a very good song to learn if you've never learned to play bass before. Pretty easy to do. Very satisfying sound, too. So we've already been in the dress shop. I think there's just some random character we need to talk to in order to progress the plot. We've already been in the bar and the machine shop. There's nothing over to the right. Hey Hun, thanks for following. Good to have you. Right. Hey, welcome back, Leon. You hated this quest, Matt? This is the best. How could you hate this quest? How can that even be? Does take a while, that's true. Right now I have to find some NPC in this town. It's escaping me. Someone we talked to lets us trigger the quest, because we've got Aeris with us. That part's already done. There's no reason for us to backtrack. Let's see, we already looked in the item room. Let's do everything. I've already talked to everybody there. That's not what we need. If you're watching and you're beating your head against your desk saying, go talk to this guy, just let me know what I'm missing. Oh, that might be the guy we needed to talk to. Funnily, the speedrunners will actually do this side quest. You'd think they'd avoid it because it's a lot of running around, but they will actually make Cloud the prettiest dress because it actually speeds up the game just a little bit. If you don't have Cloud go in, you have some extra battles you have to get through as Cloud to get into the room with Aeris or Tifa, depending on who wins. Man, what? Aeris is supposed to pop out here and be like, hey, this is what you need to do. Give me 1 sec, guys. Talk to the fat guy in red standing in front of the Honeybee Inn. Apparently you have to do that before the cutscene up here will trigger. There's not a lot of things like that in 7. You may have run into that happening to us a little bit in Chrono Cross. Chrono Cross has a lot of weird plot triggers where you, like, you know, need to go to a specific screen or go back to a map you've already been to before the plot can progress. And that doesn't really happen too much in 7, but I guess this particular guy right here... Aha, okay, I guess that makes sense. Okay, cool. So now when we go back up, we should be good. That would be the modern way of handling it, Matt, where if you if you finish the quest perfectly, you get an alternate outfit for Cloud. Hey Candy Bar, how's it going? What's up, dude? There we go, there we go. Moving along, moving along. Yep. It's the only way. I'm sure there's some other way, but... Alright, and that should unlock the rest of the quests in town that I've been running around trying to trigger back here. First part of it is to get the dressmaker to stop being a pansy and come back. He wants a challenge. What's the problem? Got it. Let's go, Clord. Alright, there's another little mission over here. I think we have enough gil for it. I've actually screwed that up before. So they retranslated this so it's kind of inscrutable, but I think the original text, you're getting him like a prophylactic or something from the vending machine at the inn. It just says, we'll see what it says, but it's not something that's very helpful, informative. $200 gil. Yeah, so like they cut a little dialogue there that would pop up and say what the item was. And I don't think he's going to confirm it when we go back and talk to him. I think you're getting him like a box of condoms or something from the inn's vending machine, and that's why they changed it. There's actually not a lot of censorship going on in this game. It's not like the Nintendo games we've been playing so far that are pretty heavily censored. Aeris is like, let me just come out of your body and then cover my ears. Hey, Unicorn Hole, that's a pretty good name. Unicorn Hole. Right, Diamond Tiara. He just called Aeris a cow? How's it going? Alright, so the little kanji character that's on the pink drapes there, that's the character for women. Kind of looks like a person in a dress. Alright, so vote. There are 2 rooms we can go into. There's the fuck room, I think it's called. I'm just quoting the game. And then there's another room. So whichever one you want me to go in, type it in chat. Otherwise, I'll go into the one that's not that. Queen's room. One of these rooms has President Shinra in it. Yeah, I think this is the one. Hey Murph Boston, how's it going? So there's somebody who's like mixing content over here. That's President Shinra. The Curse of the Resurrected Satan. These are some other Shinra guys who are like helping this weird roleplay session happen. Hey Zrubu, how's it going? So the plot they're talking about seems like nonsense, but he is talking about the Promised Land, sword on his back. President's wife found out about this little hobby of his. Oh, I'm sorry. Please remove the ancient curse. Let's see what's up. Hey, there's a little Ketchi down there. Oh, it's just a grandma and grandpa. Oh, but is it like honeybees role-playing as a grandma and grandpa? Okay. Cool. Alright, so here's that's the fuck room. We're not gonna go in there, I don't think. I think the other one's funnier, the group room. Look at that, 1970 suite. Someone decided that that's what needed to go in the background. Group room it is. Group room's the funnier one. "1970 suite." Aw, yeah. Not even like suite like a room, but like awesome. Here we go, the group room. Yeah, this is definitely the correct choice. I'm used to being alone. God, Cloud is such a emo kid. I'm always alone. What's up? Could be facing crises all my life. Let's wash off all our sweat and dirt together. Matt, I'll have to put that on Mustache's Mean Business. Like how they don't even care that they're all clipping into each other. Isn't bathing great? It soothes your heart. Hey D-Rock, how's it going, man? Bikini briefs. I think it doesn't matter which room you go in as far as impressing Don Corneo later. Just the fact that you came in here gives you a good item. That's right, Cloud. Save Tifa, there's no way around it. Of course. Alright, so Johnny was only charged 1 gil for a flower. For 500 gil from that guy. Learning something about Aeris' style. Although she inherited a lot of her style from Zack, as we're learning in Crisis Core. Alright. Let's go talk to the dressmaker. Clord, you wait over there for a second. This game has the best minigames. We want something that's soft and shimmers. I remember that. I think that gives us the silk dress, which is the best one. You can also do satin, and the worst one is cotton, depending on what you pick. Yeah, let's take it. Each one gets like a point value and how much it would impress Don Corneo. The silk is like the best one, the satin's number 2, and cotton's the worst. Like you? Alright, let's go to the gym. Do some squats. Hey girl, hey! It's me. So the one who's clearly dressed as a woman is Big Bro. Dude, check out that gnarly, like, wrestling mat. Look at the cool little drawing on there. Square X circle. Okay. You'll notice when we do Crisis Core that Zack really likes to do squats. Crisis Core is just blatant fan service non-stop, so they like reuse a lot of the direct animations from Final Fantasy VII. You'll see Yuffie will do her little punching thing, but Zack will do this exact same squatting animation, even though it looks kind of awkward. Okay, got it. Oh man, Shadow, there's a squat challenge in Crisis Core? Holy crap. Hey Scooby Snacks, we're doing Final Fantasy VII until 4:30 Pacific time. So it's 7:30 Eastern, and then we're going to switch to Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core, which is the prequel, until 6 o'clock Eastern, or Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern. Blonde wig. Bro's fists of steel cut to the bone. So another hour and 45 minutes of Final Fantasy VII, followed by an hour and a half of Crisis Core. We've got everything. A Broken One and Salmon Leap. So you having to use your imagination here. They didn't actually animate any of that. We learned where Aeris got her little ribbon that was also in Crisis Core, the last session we did. We haven't actually moved the plot in Crisis Core very much. Like, I was going crazy about it last week. Crisis Core is a really cool game, but it as soon as you get to the first save point, it unlocks these optional missions that are, there's tons of them. There's like hundreds of optional missions. It's of order 250 or 300 or something. And I was like, okay, whatever, you know, I'm not just gonna sit here and grind missions for hours on this stream. I'm gonna keep doing the plot. And every now and then I'd go and do a random mission, and I did some random dinky bullshit mission. Shouldn't matter, you know, shouldn't be a big deal. I kill this like smiling frog monster thing at the end, and it drops the Bahamut materia. So the only way you can summon Bahamut is by doing random dinky missions in Crisis Core. So I'm like, okay, I guess I have to grind. It's unacceptable to not get all of that stuff. I spent like Saturday for about 4 hours doing nothing but missions. So we shouldn't have to do missions again for a while. When we do Crisis Core, it's just going to be plot. I think Cloud's a shoo-in. We've got all these awesome items. Oh yeah, let's find Tifa. This room should be just a little bit questionable. Don Corneo's up to down here. Tifa? Right, with Clord. Ugh, awkward. I got the item. Give me the item. Give me the item. There we go. So let's take bets. It's a matter of when, not if, Square Enix actually releases an actual remake of Final Fantasy VII, right? So the question becomes, do they include the, you know, custom costumes? Hey Cappy man, how's it going? Of course. Did they confirm they won't ever do a remake? I don't know, I think that's dubious. I think it's gonna happen eventually. They asked Sakaguchi about it at PAX, and he said he would rather see an official Final Fantasy VII demake with like Super Famicom graphics, which would be amazing. I'm doing alright, man. It's good to have you. Yes, FF7 fan? Oh my god. Huh. Well, I guess it would take a lot of time. This is a pretty huge game. I guess that's like their ace in the hole. If they ever do another Final Fantasy Spirits Within and lose a whole bunch of money, you can always rely on that to make a big profit. Grand Theft Auto, Final Fantasy. Hey Coperick, thanks for the host. Appreciate it. Good to have you. $15 might be really good. I don't know. I like that they're moving so far away from the standard model. If they're gonna make Final Fantasy different, like 13 wasn't different enough. It was enough different that it was frustrating. Yeah, I kind of like the idea of driving around in a car with your bros and fighting Malboros and stuff. Come on, I have to check out your channel. So what's the deal with Type 0? Like, I know nothing about it other than its name. Can you tell me, like, what that game's all about? Is it a re-release? Has that already come out before? That's true, you could drive a car around in Final Fantasy VIII. Ta-da! Healthy looking. Hey Wolfzon. What kind of a game is it, Matt? Like, is it its own story? Does it have anything to do with any of the other Final Fantasies? I'd like them to go back to the job system again. They basically did that with Bravely Default, which is an amazing game. Cool, I'll have to check it out. And thank you also for following, Coperick. Of course. Whatever you want, Daddy. Oh, interesting. I like that about Bravely Default. The story felt very different from the Final Fantasy games. Seems pretty funny, their individual threats. I think it's, Cloud threatens to cut them off, Tifa threatens to rip them off, and Aeris threatens to smash them. We'll see if I'm right. Okay, it's 1 for 3. I'll count chop and cut as the same thing. Hands down, huh? I think 7's really good. I think I like 6 the best. 6 probably has my favorite story. 7 just overall is great. It covers a lot of bases. 9 has my favorite system. I really like tying abilities and items to, or tying items to abilities. I was wrong. Aeris is the one who rips them off, Tifa is the one who smashes them. Tifa and Klord. Yeah, I don't know what people have against 9. 9's fantastic. It's very polished. It's one of the only polished PS1 games. The combat is great. It's like bringing back, because it's not... The reason 9 is so different is, so you think Final Fantasy 1 through 6, right, is an era, and that's all, Yoshitaka Amano is the artist. It's this very distinct watercolor style. When we get to 7, the artist is Tetsuya Nomura, and he does 7, 8, and 10. So he has the very, like, you know, asymmetrical, you have one shoulder pad, and like you always have a pendant, and there's a bunch of unnecessary zippers and buckles all over the place. So 9 is saying, hey, let's bring back that old style of 1 through 6, let's do it in 3D, but let's do it in a Yoshitaka Amano style Final Fantasy. So it has a very different art style as a result, and more deformed characters. Since Sakaguchi, the creator of Final Fantasy, has left Square Enix, Tetsuya Nomura, the character artist behind 7, 8, and 10, is now the head of Final Fantasy. Hey Giant Fool, how's it going? Oh man, there's a battle in chat. FF1 remakes are pretty good. The original, like if you just try to play it on the NES, it hasn't aged very well. It has some problems that have been rectified by later games. Like there's a lot of, you need to do a lot of grinding in order to survive. There's a problem in Final Fantasy 1 where if you have like 3 enemies, A, B, and C, and you have your whole party attack enemy A, if enemy A dies, the attacks of the remaining party members will just miss rather than redirect like they do in the later Final Fantasies, so you have to be very precise. I'm doing alright, Giant Fool. Are you a big fan of Final Fantasy 7? Remember everything that Reeve says. Reeve is basically a party member in this game. I'll point out who he is when we get him, but he doesn't seem like that important of a character, but he's in your party for about half the game. Yeah, you're right. Dragon Warrior is way harder than Final Fantasy 1. I went back and played it later after having appreciated RPGs from other eras. That's a correct response, Giant Fool. Actually, my wife is not a fan of Final Fantasy VII. I love my wife. The reason she doesn't like 7, though, is that growing up, she went straight from the Super Nintendo to the PS2. So she didn't grow up with these graphics, and let's admit it, PS1 graphics really suck, really bad. We can enjoy them in retrospect because we have nostalgia, but if you didn't grow up with it, she can't get over that barrier. She's played Final Fantasy X, she likes like 10 and 9 and all the other games, but she just can't push through this one. Hey Broken One, thanks for the follow, it's good to have you. Get it, Tifa. I already mix my RPGs and dress-up games. Like, half of most MMOs these days is just focused on getting the best possible outfits. I'll be honest, I didn't beat 13. I didn't get very far into it. It's like, people say it's like a 10-hour plus tutorial. I agree with you 100%, Giant Fool. I love 64 games, but man, she had the same problem. She loves Zelda. Zelda's her favorite game series, but she couldn't play either Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask because the N64 has aged so poorly. Now that they're out on 3DS, she's played them and really enjoys them. She's just nothing but it's a game. Guild Wars 2 whole deal has pretty much been transmog. Whoops. Yeah, Cappy, my wife is kind of in the same boat as you. She started with 10. I was trying to get her into Final Fantasy and I was like, I gotta pick a game that's accessible. And I figured that 10 is probably the most accessible. She's been working backwards from there. We'll do 13 on this channel eventually. I should play it. the way that I've had it described to me is that, like, 13 is a perfectly fine game. They probably just shouldn't have called it Final Fantasy. I like 12. 12 is an Ivalice game. It's a extension of the Tactics storyline, which is cool. The issue I have with 12 is that they had this really cool idea of, like, let's have an unusual main character. Really the main characters in that game are Bosch and Ash, right? But they're like, no, that won't appeal to the kids. We can't have the main character be this, like, gruff war veteran who's in his 30s. We need to have our plucky 17-year-old who means nothing to the plot. So I really don't like Vaughn and Pinello, whoever the young kids are that are the main characters. If you pretend like they don't exist, though, the rest of the game is really cool. It's a little bit more adult, better story. Oh, really, Shadow? Oh, man, I picked up Final Fantasy XII midnight the night it came out and played it right away. I, like, stayed up, took off work the next day. We'll do 12 on here. That's a good game. It's got pretty challenging combat. It's like a single-player MMO. Actually, the Final Fantasy XII's combat is very, very similar to Final Fantasy XI's combat, which is something we're not going to do on stream. I played a shitload of Final Fantasy XI back in the day. Yeah, Han Solo and Chewie. I hear that. Just kind of along for the ride. But not as cool. Yeah, I would have been happier with... Because you play Final Fantasy Tactics, and there's no plucky 17-year-old in that game. Like, everybody is assumed to be a little bit older. I enjoyed that 12 had a lot of optional boss battles, too. I like really hard fights. Right? One of the ones. You could also fight the Espers in that game really early if you chose to, and they were very hard. So when we do 12, I'm sure we'll do a lot of early Esper battling. Yeah, that's why I enjoy the harder fights where you needed to, like, micromanage your characters. Should just give her some materia, yeah. She can be our thief, why not? It's cool, man. It's okay to be wrong, giant fool. No, that's cool, man. Hey, Flamikite, thanks for following. It's good to have you. Now, FF8's not bad. You guys should both check out, or I'll put the link in the chat here in a second. Now, I don't propose to believe in that theory. It's ridiculous and nonsensical. But it certainly rescues the plot of Final Fantasy VIII and makes it make way more sense. It's a pretty well-written article if you read through it. No, I don't think it's true. It's like the indoctrination theory for, what is it, Mass Effect 3? We're not going to spoil Mass Effect because we're going to play that on here, but there's a theory that clearly isn't true that tries to salvage the ending of Mass Effect 3. And it's totally not what the designers intended. String theory is pretty dumb. FF8's combat system was a cool idea. I think they could have spent maybe another few months tweaking it a little bit, because it was too easy to cheese at some point, right? You would just get... you would draw all of the really good materia early on, you'd sit in a boss fight and draw 100 fires, you know. If you were just going to sit there and draw until you had 100 of something, they should have rethought that a little bit. I didn't like that the enemies scaled with your level. Hey Labrio, how's it going? It's good to have you. Yeah, Aura totally breaks the game. Like, you get to Omega Weapon and you're like, oh man, this is gonna be really hard, and it's not. What is it, like the Laguna card? You can break it down into the item that just makes your whole party invincible. Right. It's okay, most Final Fantasy games have some kind of cheese strategy. I'd say 6 is my favorite, and 6 is very cheesable. You can do the Vanish plus X Zone trick to kill anything in the game. You do have to admit, whether you like Squall's Dead or not, that game gets weird as shit after Disc 1 is over. Hey Squanchy, how's it going? Exactly, Giant Fool. Every time I play it, I do that. I get and grind the card game for a couple hours. There's some enemy out here that we want to steal from, I think. I don't have all the good steals memorized, but... That's probably it, Cappy. Like, we'll do 8 on this channel, and I have a general policy of not grinding too much on stream because it's horribly boring to watch. And I've actually enjoyed some of the games I've played quite a bit more when I'm not grinding the way I usually do. Like, Chrono Trigger was quite a bit more challenging as a result. Mario RPG as well. Yeah. Well, think about it though, 8 only becomes convoluted after Disc 1. Everything in Disc 1 is self-sufficient, it's reasonable. Alright, I get it. As soon as you get a Disc 1 though, you're like, what the fuck? Oh shit. Thanks Tifa for walking into the path of my fire magic there. I'm gonna blame her for that one. Yeah, but dumb isn't the same as convoluted. It's okay to have a dumb character. But there's no like, oh, we all knew each other since we were kids. But we lost our memories. Yeah, alright. I'll give you that. I think these are the enemies that are trying to teach me, hey man, you need to use magic sometime, dude. No, Square's never commented, to my knowledge. They tend not to. And I appreciate that. Like, there's some stuff in 7 that's never explicitly stated, they just leave it up to you to figure out. That's not convoluted, that's rad. Hey dude, go out there and fight Ifrit. Yeah, for sure, man. No, it's a training area. We gotta have a T-Rex in there. I mean, I assure you that the U.S. Army would have a T-Rex in their facility if they could afford it. Fund the military. All we think about is whether we should. We never think about whether we could. Hell yeah, Giant Fool! I would enjoy class much more as well. There were live dinosaurs everywhere. You gotta keep things fresh, you know? Yeah, close enough. The study of your history final? Fuck you, Velociraptor. Ah. Yeah, alright. That's fair. We'll play it. We'll talk about it when we play it. 8's the one that I keep coming back to, like, okay, I'm gonna play it this time, and I'm gonna get it this time, you know? I'm gonna understand what they were saying, what they're trying to communicate. Yeah, man, like, there's like the Norg thing in Disc 2. Like, oh, the leader of, I was gonna say soldier, of Seed is this, like, gross, what is he, like, he's like a slug man? Oh, okay, so anything I say that's negative towards Final Fantasy VIII has nothing to do with the soundtrack to that game. That soundtrack is bitchin'. Man with the Machine Gun will be at the top of the list for a long time. That's an interesting idea, Scooby Snacks. I like to see more JRPGs offer a difficulty setting. If their concern is accessibility, you know, do something like that where if you play on hard mode, the final boss scales up if you've beaten Emerald Weapon. But maybe that should just be the case whether there's difficulty setting or not. Like, if you've beaten Emerald Weapon, Sephiroth shouldn't die in one hit. You've established that that's the kind of game that you want to play. Hey, welcome back, Sanguine, and Cuddle Me Batman. How's it going? Now you're in space, bitch! Exactly. What did he knock down? Sorry, my cat knocked something down. I want to make sure it wasn't important. Oh no, okay, we're good. Knocked down Battle Kid. He's begging me for food. You got an hour and a half, buddy. Should probably switch Cure All to like Fire All or something. These guys really need magic damage. Yeah, man. No, that's a good idea. I've never heard that idea before. The idea is, in all these games, if you choose to beat the optional side boss, that the actual final boss scales up. And I don't see any downside to doing that, because you've already given the players who don't want to do the optional bosses and have a hard battle the option of just not doing the optional bosses, and the boss doesn't scale up. So I think that's pretty smart. I mean, that's probably going to happen. When we get to Sephiroth, there's no way we're playing this game without getting Knights of the Round, right? So we're going to get to Sephiroth, and he's going to die in one hit. I'll probably, like, open up the menu and let the battle run just so that we can hear One-Winged Angel. But once we finish hearing it, and once we see his cool, what is it, like the supernova attack, where this meteor flies through space and destroys all the planets, and then hits your party and does, like, 10 damage, we'll see that too. Then we'll just use Knights of the Round and he'll die. I did like the last Omnis Slash. That's cool. No, not the story fight. I'm talking about the actual boss fight against Safer Sephiroth, where it plays One-Winged Angel. You do Knights of the Round and he dies. Yeah, that makes that scene even cooler. If you didn't have Omni Slash and then you get it And that final little, it's basically like a cutscene fight, you can't lose. I think if you just sit there and wait, eventually Cloud just does it without you prompting him. Yeah, save for Sephiroth should have been really hard. Right, they tried to address the animation is too long problem in 8 by like doubling down and saying, yeah, now you want long animations so you can spam the square button and get boost. At least in 9 they offered the option of the short animation, which is kind of nice. I should have taken the shit off of Aeris. I don't know if it automatically gets unequipped. She only had like a fire materia equipped though, so I guess it's not the end of the world if we forgot. Let's see. Did we get it back? I think we may have gotten it back. But we didn't get the mithril armor back, but we got our materia back. Oops. Legendary beast, is that maybe I'm a lion? I think we're good on items. What's up, see you later, dude? I also did not giant full. I did have the strategy guide though. It's back before I swore off strategy guides. I don't know if you could really find Knights of the Round without game FAQs or the internet. Maybe if you just flew around and found that suspicious island. But how would you know how to breed the chocobo without Googling it? I'll be nice to Biggs. If you guys stick around, we're going to be streaming our Dungeons and Dragons game that's coming up. We've got a new player, so we're making a tutorial adventure for them to kind of get my campaign setting and all that. And part of the tutorial adventure are 2 other players who are veterans. They're going to be playing characters called Biggs and Wedge. Dungeons and Dragons, Biggs and Wedge hype. Hey, hi Reno, how's it going? Right, Scooby Snacks, that song is rad. That song is totally like a Deep Purple song, too. Oh man, I'm excited for you guys to see. I know probably a lot of people in chat haven't seen Blue Dragon before. It's this Sakaguchi game that has Nobuo Uematsu as the composer. And he totally got the singer from Deep Purple to sing on his boss battle song. It's really cool. The Simon's Quest bullshit. Oh yeah, go up to this lake and crouch for like a minute and a half. No, that wasn't random luck. I don't know anyone. I've never met someone who's beaten Simon's Quest without Nintendo power. I don't even know if it's possible. Pixar, it didn't happen. Probably should have saved his limit break for Reno, but it's fine. And I had a friend who said his dad worked for Nintendo and he knew how to get Mew if you just went under the truck in Pokemon. Yeah, Blue Dragon's the one for the Xbox 360. We got a capture card, we're gonna do it. It's a little bit of a long game, so we might have to wait a little bit until we clear out some of the long games that are on our schedule right now. Lord. Barrett's just up here shooting recklessly. I don't think there's anything worth stealing from these guys. There might have been someone, I think there's a glove we could have gotten in the train yard that I missed. Dude, I totally fell for those friends whose dad worked for Nintendo. Yeah, I saw that, giant fool. Like, you're still abusing a glitch to get it, right? It's like something to do with the memory writing and one of these trainer battles. It's like this random youngster on one of the routes. It's like something to do with that, using teleport with an Abra that you catch, or having an Abra run away from you with teleport. What's your favorite battle in 6, 7, and 8? That's a really good question. 7 is probably going to be Ruby Weapon, because of the way we're going to kick his ass that a lot of people don't know about. 8 would be any battle where the man with the machine gun is playing, so any of the Laguna levels. So I'm mostly in it for the music there. Favorite battle in 6? I don't know, man, the final Kefka fight's pretty awesome. I like going around and fighting all of the optional bosses, like the optional dragons. I gotta do Dark Souls. I've never played it. I love hard games, like brutally hard games, and people tell me that if that's true, it's offensive that I haven't played Dark Souls or Demon Souls. Yeah, I agree, Matt. That whole section's pretty cool. Final boss music. Dude, it's gotta be Dancing Mad. I mean, One Winged Angel's cool, but Dancing Mad is amazing. The game doesn't give you a very good hint, but you're supposed to attack that pyramid to get it off a cloud. Hey, thanks for following, Cappy Man. Zeromus is pretty sweet. I like Dragon Age. I played the first one. I've heard that the one that just came out, Inquisition, is really, really good. Oh, okay, yeah, so... You asked what's my favorite final boss battle music. That is unapologetically Dancing Mad. What's my favorite, like, Final Fantasy battle music is Clash on the Big Bridge. Gilgamesh's theme from Final Fantasy V. That game's amazing. Like, I played Final Fantasy V for the first time in 1996, which sounds like a really early time for someone to have played it, right? I must be full of shit. But what happened was, I had played Final Fantasy, what we knew then as 2 and 3 on the Super Nintendo, and Nintendo Power did an article on Final Fantasy VII, and I was like, what the hell happened to 4, 5, and 6, right? So I researched it on the internet. I found someone had done a translation of Final Fantasy V, like they had hacked the ROM, and I played the ROM hack. So I remember getting to Gilgamesh and hearing Clash on the Big Bridge, and I would just like go to the bus stop while I was waiting for the bus, and I would just sing it out loud or hum it to myself. Is that so, Giant Fool? I should play it. We'll do it on stream. Like, it might be brutal to watch somebody get their ass beat over and over and over. That might need to be one that I wait until I've got a little bit bigger of an audience, but we'll do Dark Souls. The goal with this channel is to play through every good game that's ever been made. I think there's enough good games that even if we did nothing but play video games 16 hours a day, we couldn't possibly get to all of them in a lifetime. We're gonna try, and that's definitely on the list. Yeah, so when I do Dark Souls, it'll be a blind playthrough. I'm not going to look up game FAQs or anything. I'm sure there'll be people in chat. Try to avoid having, obvious spoilers, but if I'm spinning my wheels for a really long time, maybe they can help me out. Aeris! There on the right is a golden shiny wire of hope number 1. What are you gonna do with Aeris? Man, that wasn't really necessary. Yeah, man. Graphics. Check out the graphics. We've been talking about that on stream a lot. If you've already been watching before today, that's not like a broken record. Like, let's try to play all the games that are good that have ever been made, and we can't do it in a lifetime. I think that we passed that critical mass point around the Super Nintendo when we got to like the PS1, PS2 era. So I've played the first maybe 30 minutes of Dark Souls. I got it for PC, which is a mistake. The PC port is really bad, and I didn't download any of the stuff that makes it more tolerable. But I really like the first boss that, like, you get up on this, you see it, you're like, okay, screw that, I'm not messing with that. And you get up on this balcony and you're looking down on it and you're like, okay, cool, I'm looking down on the boss, let me take my time, let me come up with a plan, and the boss is this huge dude and he just jumps up and knocks you down. It's great. It was a very I want to be the guy moment. Cat hype indeed. Marty. If I played Morrowind, so we're probably going to do those games on stream for the first time. Historically, those super open-ended WRPGs like Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim have been hard for me to get into because I'm a completionist. Like, I have to 100% the game, and a game like Skyrim, you don't really 100%. Like, when I say I have to 100% it, I have to do all the side quests before I progress the main plot, and there are essentially endless side quests in those games. So I never move the story forward. So it might be good for me to do that on stream and just play the game as I do it, rather than just spending 300 hours trying to do everything. Hey, welcome back, Copper. It's okay, Bert. Guess all his friends just died. That just kind of suck. Alright, so votes. We're getting up to Shinra headquarters soon. They give us a choice. We can either run up the stairs, or we can bust in the front door. There's a slight benefit of running up the stairs in that there's an elixir running up there, but it takes forever. Apparently the speedrunners run up the stairs because it's slightly faster than busting in the front door. So if you think I should run up the stairs, say so in chat. If you think I should bust in the front door, say so. I'll make a decision if no one's voted. We'll throw that on here. We'll do that. We're going to do Battle Kid, which is a classic, very, very hard game. It's been released recently. Recent classic. Hey Sanctus, how's it going? Oh man. Yeah, that's great. Dark Souls, what's the philosophy? The best advice I've ever gotten as a dungeon master. I've gotten lots of great advice, but I think the number one thing is from Chris Perkins, one of the lead designers at D&D, and it's, you should always blow your load narratively immediately. Like, if you have this really cool idea, like, oh man, I really want the party to get into a fight with this big dragon, But first they have to, you know, fight the rats in the tavern basement and do all this other nonsense that's not interesting. You're never going to actually get to the sweet dragon fight idea that made you think of the campaign in the first place, you know? And I think that Dark Souls does that well. They give you the awesome stuff immediately, and it's just constantly awesome, just bombarding you with it. And it gives you the momentum to want to keep playing. You're not just getting up and, okay, let me quest and kill rats in the dungeon for an hour before I get to the real game. Alright, I'm seeing front door, stairs. Front door is winning by 1 right now. At some point, I'm gonna have to find a way to actually tally votes like that. I'm just doing it mentally. We're gonna do a kind of sort of Twitch plays Mass Effect where people can vote on like each of the choices that Shepard makes. I'll have to set something up official for that. Front door, front door, front door. Okay. Only 1 stairs vote. Ooh, 2 stairs. It's 3-2, front door. Alright, in my veins courses the blood of the ancients. Why is he thinking that? That's a mark against my he's hearing Zach theory. Straw poll? Let me write that down. I'm not actually gonna do anything with it today. We've got a few enough people that I can just track it mentally, but it's just something you can set up really quick ahead of time. Oh, 1 sec. This is my kitty you done fucked up now spray bottle. When he comes on the desk, which is frequently, I spritz Ben. Green 16. Got it, thanks Coperick, I'll keep that in mind. Green 16. It the name we give to Red 13 has to conform. I think it's an 8-character limit. So green, G-R-E-E-N space. I think that's 1 too short. We could do 15. I like Bread 13 too. I was leaning towards Bread 13 for now. Slot machine dough. I also am kind of drawn to like Rob 13 or like Ron or like Ronald 13. John Adams the dog. Right. Sense materia that we're probably never actually going to need. It's not actually very good. You know what? Screw gender stereotypes. Screw the patriarchy. We're gonna make Bert into our white mage. I guess it makes sense though for it's not really subverting the trope if Tifa is the thief. He's kind of got the whole like agile fist fighter character going on. John Adams the dog. Chewbacca's pretty good. Oh yeah, Coperick? Oh man, yeah, I've had to do virtual machines to play a couple games. Like my wife really wanted to play this old PC game called Titanic Adventure Through Time. It's actually a pretty sweet game. It came out, I think pretty sure it came out before the Titanic movie. But it's like you go back in time and like change what happens in the Titanic. And she was like, I really want to play this game, so I was like looking around trying to play it, and I had to install like a Windows 95 virtual machine in order to get it to run finally. Alright, I almost forgot to get the batteries. I like Chewbacca. Might have to do that. You don't lose a lot of time, but I've heard the speedrunners mention that it's not uncommon to forget that you need that battery. There we go. I think we need to go get... Don't we have to go talk to Marlene or something? Before we can climb up the golden shiny wire of hope? Pretty sure we do. I think that's the only game I've had to do a virtual machine for, that Titanic Adventure Through Time. Most games, compatibility mode seems to work. If you do like old school Myst, you might have to. You like made it into like your server? Oh man, Space Quest. We'll have to do some of those sweet adventure games. Are any of you fans of Homestar Runner? They are really into the King's Quest, Space Quest games. They've done a few parodies of them that are really cool on their site. Homestar is still around. The brothers Chaps took a really long hiatus because they both got kids. But I think that they're starting to start it back up again, I heard. Leisure Suit Larry. Some of those old LucasArts adventure games are really cool. Like there's one called Full Throttle that's really neat that has Mark Hamill as one of the voice actors. Hey, thanks for following, Sly Hunter. It's good to have you. Welcome back, Scooby. Maniac Mansion. Uh-oh, sad music. Clord, wasn't it? Never played Police Quest. Or Bard's Tale. I hear Bard's Tale is really rad, and I'm missing out for not having played it. Who the Ancients is? So I may as well introduce you all to this idea. We've been saying it a lot in Crisis Core, because the first part of Crisis Core takes place in Wutai. When my wife was playing this game, every time she'd see the word Wutai, she'd say, Wutai. So we're going to do that too. Oregon Trail. Street Rod, is it like a racing game, Cinqueen? So she talks about this soldier, her husband, going off to this war in Wutai. Wutai! That's actually, you do that in the beginning of Crisis Core. If you go back and watch some of my VODs, you can see when we got to that part. Once you go and you fight dudes in Wutai. You were made to play Oregon Trail. Copric, I hope you mean that you, as a person, you were built up to play Oregon Trail, not that you were forced to do so. You got to play Oregon Trail in math class, let's be honest. So if you guys are all the kind of folks who played Oregon Trail in school, you know that today's version of Oregon Trail is Minecraft. Like, all the kids in school in computer class play Minecraft instead of Oregon Trail. Oh, that's cool, Giant Fool. So it's like, what is it? If you were on TV Tropes, it's a genre-savvy narrator. Mother 3 was like that, it's very genre-savvy, making fun of a lot of RPG stuff. Yeah, me too, D-Rock. My first console was the NES. I almost screwed it up. It was supposed to be a gift from my dad, and I was for like Christmas. It was supposed to be a surprise. I was 3 years old, and I'm like, Dad, guess what? You're gonna get this thing where there are ducks, and you can hunt them. My mom was like, okay, you spoiled it, Dylan. We're taking it away. But then she actually did, you know, buy it. She tricked me. You say that your son and his friend have a cray world at school? Just one cray? You wouldn't rate it at least 2 or even 3 crays? Turn to the planet. What's up, girl? It's pretty neat cutscene style. I like the cinematography in this sequence. No, that's not a typo. You can describe something as being cray. I think Adventure Time makes that joke. They're like, oh man, this party is has a awesomeness rating of at least 3 crays. I have played Mystic Quest. I played Mystic Quest as a kid. My main way of consuming video games as a kid was seeing the box art at Blockbuster, or I guess it was Family Video in my case, and like renting it and playing it for a week. So I remember I had already played Final Fantasy 4 and 6, and I saw this Mystic Quest box, and I'm like, oh man, there's another Final Fantasy, I'm so excited! And I brought it home and was like, what is this? It's not that bad of a game. We'll probably play it on here. I said we'll do all good games, but we'll do Mystic Quest as well. Yeah, dude, it's on stream right now. We're doing Tactics War of the Lions on Mondays and Tuesdays. It's the PSP remake. If you want to check it out, I've got a link to my YouTube video on the channel. You can see the VODs we've done so far. We're on like chapter 6 or 7 or something. War of the Lions is great though. The translation is so much better. It's like, in addition to being a better translation, which wouldn't be hard to do, it's actually well written. Like they spent extra money on it. They got someone who can actually write good English. Hey Pax, how's it going, dude? Oh man, don't start with that. Bird even trying to hear that. Giant, I've played Dragon Quest VIII, and I went back to Dragon Quest 1, and it was really, really hard. I really, really like Dragon Quest VIII. My wife is playing through it right now, that's the RPG she's doing. But we'll do that on stream eventually. I'm sad that Dragon Quest X is a Japan-only release, because it would be fun to play, to have a MMO on the Wii U. Yeah, Tactics is great. We're going to finish Tactics, we'll probably do Tactics Advance at some point. Hey Mew, how's it going? Dragon Quest VIII is a great game. Solid story, cool music, good challenging gameplay, cool art style, Akira Toriyama. We're gonna say, I don't know. So we want to make everybody except for Barrett mad. People are telling me I need to play 7, 6, 5, pretty much all the Dragon Quest games. We'll do it, we'll get to it. It's like, if it's on the list of games that are good, we will play it. I have a subreddit link. If you look on the channel down in the bottom, there's a thing for upcoming games, and there's a link to a thread I have set up for games that I would like to play on stream that people can vote on. There's not a lot of votes in there right now. We've just been kind of trucking through it. But if there's a game that you don't see on that list, feel free to add a comment and vote it up. So if you want to add like one of the Dragon Quest games, or so I think somebody put Etrian Odyssey on there, we'll do them for sure. I can stream anything right now. The only thing that's limiting me is the 3DS capture card. Like, the capture card for one of these things is $400. So I'm working on saving up for that. I want to wait until they make one for the new 3DS. There's a lot of good DS games that I'd love to play on here, like World Ends With You. When they do the Xenoblade re-release that's coming up would be really good. Nice, Mew. Awesome. Hey Cloud83, I would guess from your name that you're a Final Fantasy fan. I'm glad I remembered to come back here. I felt like we didn't have a long enough sad cutscene after Burrett's friends died. Oh really, Matt? Oh dude. Awesome. Perfect timing, too. I get to expand the stream to 6 hours starting next week. I didn't know that. Thanks for the heads up. I've been checking Katsu Kitty every now and then. I'll have to... I'm going to get my severance pay for my job pretty soon. So I'll put that toward that goal. All kinds of DS games we're going to get to play. It's going to be awesome. DS, 3DS... World Ends With You is another very unusual Square RPG that if you haven't seen before, you totally should. It's really neat. Damn, bro, 250 hours? You like trying to max out all the characters? Like go get like speed sources and guard sources and stuff and get everyone's character stats to 255? Awesome. Thank you, Matt. You are a hero. We're getting on that, like, ASAP. Then we'll be ready for Xenoblade when it comes out. I never played Xenoblade for the Wii. I want to play the remake, and I want to stream it when I do. It's a weird game, World Ends With You. If you can't get into it, I totally get it. It's hard to play, too. Like, it's gonna be pretty tough for me to do on stream, because the whole premise is that you have two battles going on at the same time on the top screen and the bottom screen, and you control them with different sides. So you already have this kind of multitasking problem that is already a problem for someone who's streaming a game, like paying attention to the chat and like trying to focus. So maybe there won't be any banter during battles, but after battles, oh, we'll banter. Oh, we'll bant. Gold Saucer gambling? I'm excited for the Gold Saucer. That's one of my favorite parts of Final Fantasy VII. Gonna do some crazy motorcycling. Get to do the cool little submarine game again. Do FF7 Cool Borders. I wonder if there are any games that beat Final Fantasy VII on variety and quantity of mini-games. This game just goes balls out. If they had an idea, they did it. Alright guys, Golden Shiny Wire of Hope hype. Golden Shiny Wire of Hype. Thanks, man. Funny story about this shield. You'd think that I would have gotten it from like a video game store or something, but my parents, who live in the boonies of Arkansas, happened to find it in some random like backwood pawn shop. And they're like, I bet Dylan would like this. Dylan and his wife would like this, and got it for us for Christmas. It is an excellent fixture. Does Final Fantasy have a crafting system? There's got to be an FF that does. There aren't any that are jumping at me. Like Dragon Quest VIII does, but that's not Final Fantasy. There's kind of a crafting system in 12. Yeah, hell yeah, Cloud. So one of the things we're going to do when we get to expand the stream is a chronological playthrough of the Zelda series. So based on the timeline that Nintendo published, we start with, I guess, Skyward Sword. We'd have to do the time split, because there's like a split at Ocarina of Time. It goes in 3 different directions. Alright, see you later, D-Rock. I gotta call my wife in here. She's gonna give me a lot of shit. So when she did play this, around until when she got out of Midgar. And this part up here is infamous for people getting stuck on it. It's this, like, pipe that's swinging back and forth, and I can't do it for shit. But she did it on the first try twice. Alright, this propeller spins for way too long. Oh yeah, you're right. 8 does kind of have crafting with the junk shops, that's fair. Yeah, when we do Zelda, if we do it chronologically, we're gonna have to do Four Swords, which is a GameCube game that's really hard to get your hands on because you're using the Game Boy Advance as a controller for the game, and it's multiplayer with 4 people. So we'll try to do that when my friend Haypax, Patrick, he's going to be moving out here where I live, and we might be able to do that locally and stream it. We're going to wait till he's out here before we do Seiken Densetsu 3 and Secret of Mana, so we can have at least 2 or 3 players in those 2 games. Press it when you hear the creak. Yeah, we're gonna do Link Between Worlds. Yeah, no, exactly, Matt. There's so many Zeldas I'd be missing out on if I don't have the capture card, so that's really exciting to hear that it's ready. I never played the only Zeldas I haven't played are Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Track, so I will rectify that. I totally got it in the first try. Thank you, Cloud. I didn't know that was the trick. I would just keep trying to time it based on where it was. That's awesome, Matt. Or playable on 3DS, I guess. Save my bacon, Cloud. Save my bacon. Gotcha, gotcha. Motherfucker. I've played Final Fantasy VII like 20 times, and I always get stuck on that stupid pipe. Oh man, that reminds me, none of you might know what the hell I'm talking about. In Sonic the Hedgehog 3, there's a carnival level, and in the carnival level there's like this big red like drum or barrel that's spinning around. And the way that you're supposed to get past this thing is like you press down while you're standing on the barrel and the barrel goes down, and then you press up on the D-pad and it goes up, right? But there's no time in Sonic that you ever need to press up or down for any reason. So there's no reason for you to know that that's what you're supposed to do. So instead of doing it that way, I would just try to like jump up in the air and land on the barrel and make it come down and do that over and over. Like I would run out of time in that level. I would run out of time in a Sonic game because I couldn't get the goddamn barrel to do what I wanted to do. And one day somebody told me, no dude, just press up and down. And I was like, oh my god, are you serious? 23rd of 7, wow. The game I've played more than any other is Earthbound. If you're talking like RPGs that are longer than 10 hours, I've played Earthbound probably about 30 times. It was the first game we did on this channel. Cloud gets the Buster Sword in that cutscene for some reason. Alright, the votes were for bust in the front door, so we're gonna bust in the front door. Let's go. Oh, you know, even if everyone had voted for stairs, I think that we have to go through the front door because that gives you relationship points with Barrett, which will get us the date with Barrett and the gold saucer. You're doing the same thing, you're trying to get all the items to max out your characters. Right, bombing mission again. This song is going to feature the tutorial adventure I'm doing for my D&D game that we're going to stream around the end of March, beginning of April. It's gonna the opening music that's gonna play is gonna be opening bombing mission. It's just too good for the opening to a game. Is Georgia Cerberus any good? Should I play it, Cloud? We're gonna switch to Crisis Core here in about 30 minutes, and I'm really enjoying that game, but I haven't heard so much about Georgia Cerberus. Hey, welcome back, D-Rock. And thanks for following, Cloud. It's good to have you. I'm down with that. I mean, one of my favorite games of all time is a third-person shooter, Mass Effect. Does it have any, like, pausing functionality? I'm, again, comparing to Mass Effect. I enjoy that while that game is a shooter, you can pause the combat at any time and make kind of tactical decisions. Hey, Cloudy Memory, how's it going? Repetitive, okay. But baby, it's way too expensive. Cool little cutscene about Shinra cars. Lightweight, short wheelbase, wide four wheels mobiles. Shin-Ra. Like, this could not have been trivial to make. Why did they decide to include this optional cutscene? Maybe they had somebody design all these cars. Shinra's suspension system. Mako engine, or Mako, I guess it should be. Right. Really, D-Rock? Yeah, you gotta talk to this little TV here and it shows you this little cool... It was like a 2-minute cutscene about cars. Give me the stuff, man! I ain't even trying to hear that, girl. Damn it, Barrett! Don't pull that shit. Edgar does that in Final Fantasy VI, where they're like, oh, you're the king! Take all the items for free, you're on an important mission. And Edgar's like, nah, man, we're gonna pay you. Like, dude, shut up, Edgar! Let her give me the free stuff. Mother 3 actually subverted that trope. Very early in the game, something important's happening and you go to a shop and the shopkeeper's like, just take everything for free. Although I guess there's a factor in that part of the game where like the town doesn't know about money yet, but still, it's interesting, you're like, things are serious and the character actually does let you take stuff for free. Hey, welcome back. Hey, Pax. How's it going, dude? Pretty much. Shut up and take my money. Yeah, he does. Like, shut up, Edgar. Get out of here. Get me my 99 potions in Phoenix Downs for free, you dick. Yeah. Families of your kingdom or whatever. I don't care. Isn't there like a bulletin board back here that has a Turtle's Paradise flyer on it? Am I crazy? I feel like you only get 2 chances to get that flyer. It might be on the bottom floor. It's cool, we'll find it. Oh man, I'm excited to do the puzzle in this level, legit. It's a pretty cool puzzle. It's like there's these different libraries and you have to find the book that has find the one thing that doesn't belong, and then it gives you a number next to the book, and the number tells you which letter you need to use. I might have to rip off that puzzle for D&D sometime. It must not be the one, it must be further down. Is it the second level, maybe? I mean, I guess it could be in here, and I just didn't see it. You have to collect all these Turtles Paradise flyers. Down 1 floor? Okay, thanks, Cloud. Where would I be without you? Gotcha, cool. Thanks, man. I'm pretty sure I missed it in my first playthrough, which I otherwise 100%'ed. Drove me insane. Back attack. I feel like going in the front door is correct, if only because we get to hear a bombing mission. You are correct, sir. Thank you. Right? Hey, heretics. How's it going, dude? I think I've almost always done stairs because stairs is technically better in that it gives you an elixir. Press the button. Come on, Cloud. Come on, Cloud. There we go. Oh yeah. Alright, good. We get bombing mission back. So I guess there's a random component to this. The speedrunners said that occasionally it can be faster than the stairs, but because it's random, they just don't risk it. Going alright, dude. How are you? Double yeah! It's a hell yeah! Yes! I like Chewbacca as a name, but I think we're still gonna go with Bread 13. The theme on the characters' names right now is that, like, they're kind of typos. If you think of a typo style name like Word 13 or... Hey, welcome back, Giant Fool. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, I gotta press the button. I'm just like waiting. Alright. Hell yeah! I like that one. Red 12, but incorrect. I think there's room for that too. Ah, no, I love Chewbacca. It just doesn't fit the theme. We'll do a future playthrough where everyone is named after Star Wars characters, but they're like jokes on Star Wars characters' names. You already see a lot of that. Sakaguchi's a big Star Wars fan. That's why you get the explicit Star Wars references with the Empire and Final Fantasy VI and like Biggs and Wedge and all that. I need to stop using my potions so willy-nilly. What is this, Chrono Trigger? I like the Xbox 360 gamer tag. I think that one wins. 360 no scope, Red 13. Dirt 13's pretty good too. 420 Blaze It 13. SSJ4 Red 13. Hell yeah, man! We're gonna do KOTOR on here. I love that game. I'll probably play the, somebody's done a patch on the KOTOR 2 that sort of restores a lot of the lost content. Yes, and Jade Empire. Any BioWare game, man. Like, Knights of the Republic, Baldur's Gate, and Jade Empire sold me so strong on BioWare that I bought an Xbox 360 just so I could play Mass Effect. And Mass Effect ended up becoming one of my favorite series of games. Yeah, I'm excited to do Jade Empire. I don't think a lot of people have seen that game. It's a kung fu RPG. Like, it's not like a Japanese style RPG. It is intentionally meant to be like a kung fu story, and it's really cool. It's got a cool combat system. It's got a morality system like all the BioWare games have. I think they call it like what is it? Like Way of the Open Palm versus Way of the Closed Fist are the two different morality styles. I have Jade Empire on Steam too. Now you got me excited now to play that. Bolt. One shot, one kill, Red 13. Perfect. Oh, I'm really excited for Great Empire now. I'm not gonna do it. We stick to schedule on this stream. Oh, that's right, John Cleese is in that game! You gotta stop. Okay, Giant Foot Fool, you're driving me crazy. Like, we stick to our schedule on this stream, but you're making me want to turn off Final Fantasy 7, stop Crisis Core, and just load up Jade Empire right now. No, we'll add it to the list. We'll do it in the coming weeks once we finish one of these games. That would be a really great new game to throw into the mix. That's right, that game has John Cleese. I forgot about that. I haven't played it since it came out, so I don't remember much from it. Awesome. Stoked. No, we're going to keep playing 7. Today's going to be 7, and we're going to switch to Crisis Core in about 23 minutes. And then tomorrow's going to be Crisis Core first, followed by 7. Next week, things are going to go crazy. Basically, the whole reason I'm doing this Twitch thing is I had this pretty nice work-from-home job with a big bank. I was working in Columbus, Ohio, where I met my wife. She got her PhD in astrophysics there, and she got a job out here in California, and I asked my boss, hey, can I just keep my job and work from California? And they're like, yeah, sure, there's nothing that you do on your job that you couldn't do from out there. And I've been doing it for a while, and it's been cool. And then recently the CEO just passed an edict ending all work-from-home arrangements, regardless of performance. Kind of like what Yahoo did a couple of years ago. So I'm losing my job effective tomorrow. But my wife is awesome, and she's going to let me try doing this Twitch thing as a source of supplemental income over the course of the next year. So anyway, long story short, my job ends tomorrow. I have room to expand the stream to 6 hours starting next week. That adds a lot of room for new games like Jade Empire. We're going to do Shadow of the Colossus, will be one of the games we play next week. I have a capture card ready to do that. Do we actually want the 59th floor? No, that's the one we just popped out on. This is the real thing, hanging out in this elevator. Yeah. She's looking for dark matter. We got a couple other physicists in chat right now. Matt and Haypax. Matt, would you describe yourself as laser physics? Optics? Cool, Copperick. Thanks for stopping by. I know I overlap a little bit with Dizzy. Yeah, enjoy his stream. Hope to see you next time. Give him my thanks for hosting today. Really appreciate that. Plasma physics, that's it. We can't actually cheat this, we just gotta deal with it at some point. Oh, really? Yeah, she's specifically looking for if dark matter is a particle, namely a weakly interacting massive particle, or WIMP. It might annihilate into 2 gamma ray particles, which we can see, right? So we've got a gamma ray telescope in space called Fermi that she works on, and she's looking for extra gamma rays that are coming not from something that we understand, a process we understand, and guessing maybe that's dark matter. But haven't found anything yet. It's starting to look not so great for the WIMP theory. No, D-Rock isn't just an electrician. We need people from all walks of life. I always say, like, they tell you in school, oh, everyone in this class can be president one day, and that's, like, mathematically not true. Like, there's 30 people in the class, and each of them has only a 4-year term. Everyone in the class cannot be president. We need people to be everything. Plumbers, electricians, people who throw boxes on conveyor belts. There's no difference in prestige, in my opinion, from astrophysicist to president to janitor. Awesome, D-Rock. I do, or I used to do regular testing. Dark matter is pretty well motivated. Like, I'm pretty sure most of the community assumes dark matter right now, but modified gravity isn't completely out there. Right, Matt, you mean like in Futurama, where he's like, there's like, Fry is the king, and like, Fry's assassin is next to him, and next to that is Fry's assassin's assassin. Well, at least my assassin will get what's coming to him. Well, everyone's wrong across the board on some level. That's the whole point of science, right? We are knocking down, we don't hold any ideas to be truth just based on us wanting them to be true. We go and we test, and if something turns out to be incorrect, we modify. They do. That's what it is. The Neblonians poop dark matter. Cool puzzle time. I'm doing alright, dude. Alright, so we're going to do this puzzle, and we're going to do it the hard way. I think that there's one red herring as part of this puzzle. So this is the Weapon Development Research Library. So anything that's not having to do with weapons is out of place. That one is, and it's the 17th letter, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, I. This is a space one, right? I-G. I think it's king, but we'll look at the other ones just in case. Scientific. Okay. Seems fair. I-G-N. Yeah, it's totally king, but let's just confirm that. Or that was IGK, right? Yeah, IGK. Late construction. Yeah, it's king. You got to calm? You beat me, Asukara. Bravely Default, we're gonna do that. I just learned that the new 3DS capture card has been completed, so I'll be picking that up. We're all day gonna do Bravely Default in this channel. I think Matt has Bravely Default, Hapex does, I don't know who else in chat does. I sure do. It is king. Haha! We got the elemental materia. We'll give that to... well, it's tough, because we want him to have lightning elemental. We could do fire all, I guess. Oh, it's available for pre-order, it's not ready yet. Hopefully I'll just be able to get it by April when Xenoblade comes out. That's the only thing that really matters. Oh, sweet, yeah, man. Wait, I don't want to actually leave this floor. We can just go back to 61 and then come up. Not being able to explain the CMB is a pretty big deal, though, Giant Fool. Extremely well motivated. Alright, I don't know if I'm able to do this without a walkthrough and get the 4 slots materia. It might give me multiple tries. I don't remember if you have to do it right on the first try. Okay, yeah, I think we can do the all clear and try to get it. I don't remember what to do, but we're gonna try it. I think we gotta go all the way up and around first. Yeah, we want to get in that room there with the duct, so I think we want to do this, well... Is that right? Hey, Chthonian Games, how's it going? Alright, so there's our exit over there on the left. I think we did this wrong, though. Alright, what do we get here? Oh yeah, we totes screwed this up, didn't we? We want to be using 2 here, I think. Unless... I think think I know what we're actually supposed to do. Oh, he's so funny! It's a joke! Alright, Cloud, if you're still there, or if anyone knows how to do this and get all 3 items, I want the 4 slots item, so... There's a certain sequence of doors you have to open, and I don't know what they are. If I don't figure it out in this next run, I'll try to Google it. At least I know what doors I can get into and out of now. Yeah. Okay, so that's not correct. Hey Zizix, how's it going? That's not correct. That's not correct. This might be it. Okay, that's only 2. I think this might be it. I think we got it. Well, any scientific theory that doesn't posit anything that's testable is dumb. I watched a really great talk from a guy who's posited that it was like the holographic theory, that you can project all the information in a black hole onto a 2D space, and the first question was like, great, what does it predict? And he was like, nothing really. Thanks, Cloud. I guess I just had to run through it incorrectly once to figure out where I would open the fewest doors. Got it. Alright. We doing this. Cat. That was Ben. He's the one that can, like, open my freezer. He tries to open my freezer and eat my waffles. Glad that gives me multiple tries. See, who gets the 4 slots? Magic defense. We can make it be Barret. He can be our wizard. Well, maybe not actually. Because I want him to have restore all. We'll just hold on to the 4 slots around. We don't even have enough MP or materia to justify using it anyway. Alright, see you soon, Giant Fool. Godspeed. We're about to see something in this game that pisses me off. Oh, I get so mad. One of these lockers with Cloud says, "What is this? A megaphone? Hanging on to this won't do any good. Oh my god, Cloud, I will kill you. I will murder you." That's the ultimate weapon for Ketchi, right? And motherfucker, look at his inventory. Look how much crap he's carrying. He's got a Gatling gun in his bag, and he's like, a megaphone? I'm just gonna leave it in the locker. I don't have room for this in my unlimited bag of holding. Son of a bitch. Like, if he took it, oh, it's okay. It's alright. We're good. We're okay. God damn it. So we'll come back here at the end of the game. One of the very last things we do before the final boss fight, and we'll get Ketchi's ultimate weapon. Because Cloud doesn't have room in his infinite inventory to pick it up right now. Thanks, Matt. Right, the HP shout. At least, Mother 3 would do something like that, like not let you get the item, but they would make fun of you for it. They'd do like the, oh, you can't go this way because there are ants on the ground, and if you stepped on them, that would be a shame. Hey Pixie Spit and Fine Lines, how's it going? This is such a weird puzzle to have to do. Like, yeah, if you want to go to the next floor, we like took this this model apart and split the parts up around the room. Like, whose job is it to like take the model apart every day? Is this like Reeve's floor? This is the city planning floor, so this might be Reeve's deal. Pretty sure the governing rule here is that it's the one that's furthest away from the last one. Ouch. Yo. Yeah, you keep dodging that, Barrett. Ouch. There's two particular enemies we want to fight and steal from. One of them gives us the Hard Edge, which is a new weapon for Cloud. The other one gives us a Carbon Bangle. I want to try to get 3 of those if we can. So like this one maybe? Might be the one up above this one. I think that might be the last one. Yeah. I don't know if it's actually supposed to be the one that's furthest away from the last one you got, but that's a pretty good rule. It's certainly never the one that was close to the one you just got. Yeah, see? That's as far away as you could get. So next it's going to be in the one on the right, and then it's going to be back in the one on the left, and so on. Oh, I still think this one might be the last one. Yeah, it's got to be the one on the left. Which I think is actually a little bit further away anyway. This guy. And then bottom left and then right, I think. Maybe. Let's see. Whoops. Pressing the button too fast. Alright. Hey, welcome back, Captain Man. Alright, so we got about 4 minutes until we switch to Crisis Core here, the prequel to Final Fantasy VII. I'll try to finish up this puzzle and maybe we'll go back to the save point. If you like Final Fantasy VII, but you've never seen Crisis before, I recommend it. It is like, much like Advent Children, it's pretty much just back-to-back blatant fan service for Final Fantasy VII fans. They did pretty good. Pretty well. Cookies are good, people do well. Oh, poor Sector 7 down there on the bottom left. Keycard? Keycard. Oh man, I see Heidegger, President Shinra, Palmer, Reeve, and Scarlet. Supposed to be a hint. Alright, we're not going to be able to do that whole cutscene in 3 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and save now, and then we'll sub over to Crisis Core. I like how that's immediate. Cool. Alright, Crisis Core time. Give me 1 sec to switch games over. And the stream's going to cut out very briefly. May have to refresh here. Crisis Core, there it goes. Alright, and I'll post in chat. You might have to refresh in order to get back here.